In a spontaneous act that would trigger an unimaginable nightmare, Aditya Varma, a 19-year-old Londoner, sent a chilling message to a private group on the Snapchat app he shared with 6 friends. "On my way to fly the plane, I'm a Taliban." This supposed threat was detected by the UK security services as the aircraft crossed French airspace. But how did the police access the message? We'll look at the answer to this question and other mysteries of this story now. Let's begin. Aditya Varma's journey from London to Menorca began like any other. The 19-year-old, known for his chess talent, had represented England at the World Youth Championship 10 years earlier, at the age of 8, finishing 4th. He is believed to have won 4 British championships. According to the Daily Mail, the young Briton intends to study economics at university. He was reportedly offered a place at the prestigious University of Cambridge, and if found guilty, he could lose his place at Cambridge. A British citizen, but originally from India, he was at Gatwick Airport, ready to board a flight to the tourist destination of Menorca. While waiting in the terminal, Aditya took his phone and sent a message to a private Snapchat group he shared with 6 of his closest friends. The phrase he wrote in English was terrifying: "On my way to fly the plane, I'm a Taliban." Aditya's friends, upon receiving this baffling message, were stunned. The conversation continued, but Aditya provided no further details or explanations about the message. The disturbing phrase resonated in their minds as they prepared to board the flight. As the plane took off and headed to Menorca in July 2022, something unusual was happening. 2 Spanish fighter jets, along with police and firefighters on the ground, surrounded the EasyJet aircraft carrying Aditya and another 140 tourists. The alert that triggered this impressive deployment originated from the UK's secret services, but no one knew how they had accessed a private message on Snapchat. The incident raises important questions about the security of apps and social networks, particularly regarding the privacy protection of messages. Most messaging apps, like Snapchat, use end-to-end encryption to ensure that only the sender and receiver can read the messages. This means that, in theory, messages sent through Snapchat should be secure and private. However, in this case, did the UK security services manage to access Aditya's message? Doubts are raised about the effectiveness of this security. Spanish Civil Guard experts do not know how the message was made public, but have assumed that someone in the private group shared it with third parties. This theory was denied by the accused and his friend, who pointed out that Snapchat notifies group members when a message is shared outside of it, and in this case, no such notification was received. Another theory is that the British security services captured the message through Gatwick Airport's Wi-Fi network. Although the accused claimed to have used his private network, it's possible that one of the group members used the airport's network to view the chat, which could have allowed the authorities to intercept the message. But then, to what extent are messages sent through messaging apps really private? Continuing with the story, the disturbing message sent by Aditya Varma through Snapchat prompted an immediate response from security authorities in both the UK and Spain. As the EasyJet plane headed towards Menorca, 2 Spanish fighter jets escorted the aircraft, and Spanish security forces prepared for a possible emergency at the airport. As the plane landed in Menorca, passengers found themselves in a situation of extreme tension. Aditya and his friends were detained upon arrival at the airport, where police and firefighters were waiting for them. The situation became even more complicated when the Spanish authorities became aware of the threat and the circumstances surrounding the message. Aditya was arrested and charged with a public disorder offense and later faced legal proceedings. the Spanish authorities took steps to investigate the incident and determine whether the threat was real or a joke. The cost of deploying 2 fighter jets, in this case a Eurofighter, amounted to almost €95,000, and the Spanish Ministry of Defense sought compensation from Aditya to cover these expenses. For these events, the public prosecutor of the National High Court and the State Attorney's Office of Spain requested a fine of €22,500 from the 19-year-old, originally from India and with a British passport, for a public disorder offense, as well as compensation for civil liability of €94,782 in favor of the Ministry of Defense for the cost of mobilizing the military aircraft. During the legal proceedings, Aditya Varma defended his action as a joke shared in a private group of friends on Snapchat. Aditya mentioned that part of the dynamics in the friend group included jokes related to his ethnic origin, as he had Indian roots. He argued that he never intended to scare anyone on the plane and that the message was intended exclusively for his close circle, where they often joked about various topics. The young man, when questioned by his defense, declared that when he saw the army jet accompanying the flight, he thought it could be some maneuver related to the Russia-Ukraine war, since the conflict had started shortly before. He remembered that the flight commander explained to the passengers of the EasyJet flight that he had made a communication error and that he had sent a signal by mistake, but that they were fixing it and that the fighters would stop following them. The defense also pointed out that Aditya, at the time of the incident, had no links to jihadist radicalism and that the civil guard experts found no evidence of malicious intent in his communications. But what was the resolution of the case? The resolution of the case led the judge of the Spanish National High Court to acquit Aditya Varma of the charges. In his judgment, the judge concluded that the young man's act did not constitute a crime, as no intent to provoke the mobilization of the military aircraft or any other emergency service was revealed or inferred. The judge also highlighted that the communication was made in a strictly private setting. Varma could not have anticipated that his message would be intercepted by the British security services. The trial shed light on the complexity of digital communication and the security of messaging applications in an increasingly connected world. Despite Aditya's acquittal, the incident and its economic and emotional impact on those involved will serve as a reminder of the unforeseen consequences that can arise from online jokes and the importance of understanding the limits of digital communication in a legal context. What's the latest on Aditya? According to the latest information, Aditya Varma is studying economics at the University of Bath. This incident is an important lesson for everyone in the digital age. Jokes and comments made on online platforms, even in private settings, are not exempt from being misunderstood or triggering unexpected responses. Aditya Varma's story underscores the need to be aware of the power of our words in the connected world and the responsibilities that come with using technology in our daily communication. Now, with his focus on economics and academia, Varma likely seeks to turn the page and move towards a future that, hopefully, will be defined by his academic and professional achievements, and not by an unfortunate incident from the past. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming journeys through knowledge and mystery. If you liked the video, give it a like and share it with your friends.